All right, Friday afternoon on the campus of Houston Baptist University. Beautiful day out here. Jack's traveled to play HBU tomorrow, and I get the honor of sitting down and talking to Bailey Banks. First, Bailey, thanks for being willing to chat before we have a little pumpkin carving event out here.
Hi. What did I say? Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Excited, pumped for the game tomorrow. It's an important game as we're both fighting for that second spot in conference. So, really excited. I know it's going to be an exciting game. So.
Let me ask you a little family story first. You know, in your bio, it's mentioned that your dad played football at Notre Dame and played professional football with the Oilers and the Browns. Of course, that was before you were born. But did you grow up with all the stories around the house of dad playing football?
He really didn't talk about it that much, actually. Like, I had to ask my mom about the stories. Like, to this day, I really don't know. Like, all I know is he played defense. Like, I'm not really good at football positions or whatever, but he really didn't talk about it. You have to ask him. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So around the house, is there Notre Dame or Houston Oiler or Cleveland Brown memorabilia everywhere?
Yeah, he has some Notre Dame stuff, but this year they're not having a really good year, so he's like, we can't watch it.
Just put it away. Last year, coming into Southland Conference, you set the bar awfully high. Newcomer of the year and honorable mention, all Southland Conference. But you still had several years of eligibility left. What did you do? What were you focused on coming into this year? What was the part of your game you wanted to improve upon the most?
It was probably just having more confidence in myself and not being afraid to make mistakes and just going all out. Like, I only get to play this game for 4 years, might as well go as hard as I can and see my limits, and so I think I've done a better job of that this year than last year.
When you came out of high school, your first college experience was up in Denton. Talk to me a little bit about the process of getting here to HBU. When you made that move, was there somebody here you already knew from high school days at HBU?
Actually, no. I didn't know anybody. Probably not on the volleyball team, any sports-wise. I just knew it was close to home. I actually came on a visit here when I was in 8th grade. It was a long time ago, and there was a different coach who's now at U of H, so I knew of the campus. It was familiar, so.
So a little bit of a homecoming for you. Have you enjoyed the fact that, of course, North Texas, big school, third biggest school in Texas, and then HBU, a smaller campus of about 2,400 students. Has that been kind of a good environment change for you to be able to be on a campus where it seems like everybody knows everybody, it's easy to get around?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, not having to hike and wake up 30 minutes early to catch the trail to go to school. I enjoy it. I could wake up 10 minutes before my class and go to class. And
be
it's
there.
a small environment.
Yeah.
Your teacher knows every single student. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
That's cool. That's great. Last year, let's talk about from going from last year to this year. HBU was 17-17 last year and came into the conference tournament on a 6 seed, played us, beat us. Sam Houston had upset a higher seed, got to play Sam Houston, got the championship. Played a strong match against eventual winner Corpus Christi. What was the thought of the team at that point? Did you feel like last year the club, despite its record, was peaking at just the right time?
Right. I feel like during the end of the season, we tend to peak. During the season wasn't our peak, and I feel like during the right time in the conference tournament, that was our peak as a team. Yeah, I really feel that way.
When everybody got back together to begin fall practice, the only player that wasn't in the gym was Allison Durkinghouse. She was the only senior that you graduated. Was there a sort of a confident feel that, hey, we made it all the way to the final? Now, we lost a big middle blocker, but we have all these experienced girls back.
I mean, definitely, but I knew since last year the conference is getting more competitive. Even the teams that you wouldn't expect have been raising up, so we knew we couldn't be satisfied. We had to go harder, and it turned out this year all the teams are more competitive than they were last year.
I want to ask you a question about back row play and kind of what sort of advice you might give to a young girl. There's sometimes when you get a player come from high school who's as good offensively as you are, that begins to concentrate almost exclusively on offense, and the back row side of her game drops down. But you had 20 digs last night against Sam Houston. That was only one off of your career high. What did you do all throughout your training to make sure that you were just as polished on the back row as on the front?
It's a big thing in our gym to be stopped on defense. Even though you see something sometimes, that doesn't mean in the college level, maybe in high school, the hitter will hit where they're facing and stuff. But hitters are really good at moving their hand around. So just stay home, play your defense, be stopped, and then make that move. So yeah, I really focused on that.
With the performance you had against Sam Houston, you actually took over the team dig lead briefly. Haley Erickson, your libero, right behind you. What part of what facet of the game do you enjoy more? Would you say you'd prefer the offensive side, or does it excite you just as much on player to dig out a really big ball at the net?
I'd say it excites me pretty evenly, like getting that dig and just being aggressive and like nothing can hit the floor. That's really exciting. So I feel like they're pretty even. They're pretty sweet. To get a great dig and get your team to kill is awesome. So the same feeling.
Let's go back to the high school kid for a minute, who's kind of coming up the ranks through like what you were. What advice would you give a girl who you see has got a lot of offensive talent, but to do what you said, to make what has a high school girl got to do to be able to have that sort of even temperament between offense and defense?
I would just say be confident in yourself and your abilities. Obviously, college is the next stage up, so you're gonna have to improve. What you did in high school is really you're probably not gonna get away with as much as you did in high school than in college. So I just say play your game like you know what you can do, and just keep learning, continue to learn, and hear your coaches out and be the best you can be. It's mostly confidence. All this is confidence and believing in yourself, mostly. So.
That is so interesting that you brought that up several times. Do you feel like do you remember times in your past where you saw players that you knew? I mean, it's like, wow, that girl's got an amazing amount of ability, but you can just tell by watching them, maybe their body language, that they're not confident in their ability.
Yeah, I feel like us as players, you don't have to be 100 every single day. But if you can learn how to keep it consistent, that's really good. Not to be too down, not to be far up. We don't need you hitting 400 every match, but you can keep it 200. That's a great practice to have.
Those are really interesting comments. Let me go around. The girls are out here outside getting ready for a pumpkin carving contest they're having as sort of a social. Let me go through a few of the players that you played with. There are some players that we've known throughout the years that have been stalwarts here. I want to ask you about Jessica Wooten. I mean, you've been without Wooten all year long. Have you felt like that you had to kind of pick up a lot of the slack with Jessica off the court?
I feel like we're two very different players. Jessica was me and her on the outside last year. We're completely different the way we play. Like, you know, Jessica's more of a placer, puts it down. I'm just more of a like, just go ham. But yeah, we've been missing her this year, and yeah, I just feel like I had to pick up slack, but I feel like us coming off of last year, we had a peak and Melissa had played our outside now. She played outside, and so I didn't think it was going to be too much of a barrier. So
she's actually the next player I wanted to ask you about. One of the players that I think I've heard a lot about as I've talked to other teams this year is the improvement of Melissa Fuchs.
Yeah.
Fuchs played primarily on the back row here, if I remember right, even libero for part of her time here at HBU. Talk about what she's meant to the team in terms of now rotating up to the front row. Obviously she can pass, so she's going 6 rotations with you all the way around. But what has Fuchs' play meant to HBU so far this year?
Melissa's awesome. She just brings so much energy. She's Brazilian, so she has that feistiness. She's always excited for her teammates, and you gotta get killed, she's grabbing you in the face, on the ground, screaming for you. I'm just like, Melissa. Like, yeah, she's awesome. And she's just fiery, and she's a firecracker on her team.
Well, speaking of firecracker and yelling in your face, that's exactly what happened to me the last time I was here. There's one sitting over here named Blair Gillard who is as expressionate a player as I think we have in the Southland Conference. She can really get pumped up. Is Blair like that off the court too? Because when she gets on the court, she is really loud. She's always yelling, always communicating. Is she sort of got that same spirit when she's off the court, or is she more subtle?
Yeah, she's pretty much got the same spirit. She's always going 100 miles per hour in everything she does. Whether it's talking, moving, she's always talking. There's always something to say. She's never she's like, Blair, you gotta tone her down sometimes. She's just going crazy. But we need it. So I enjoy Blair.
And last, I want to ask you about Kayla Armour. So many people in this conference are so complimentary of your setter. Kayla has been fantastic the whole time she's been here. And as I travel around and talk to people about great setters in this conference, Armour is one of the ones that always comes to the top. So communicate to me a little bit about what's it like to be able to play for a setter that's that well respected all around the Southland.
Yeah, me and Kayla, compared to last year, we got a lot closer. We've been doing like Bible studies together and things like that. So I feel like we've gotten to know each other, gotten closer this year than we were last year. She's pretty awesome. I feel like we've gotten better at communicating. So we got better at communicating on the court and off the court, and more comfortable talking to each other. So I really love playing with Kayla. I enjoy her energy. She's really awesome. A great setter.
Yeah, one of my favorite players in the Southland to watch. And last, let's talk about the preview for tomorrow. HBU's played one less game, or one more game, I believe, than SFA. Virtual tie for second place. Corpus, both teams have 2 losses. So tomorrow will determine who is second place in the conference. What do you know about SFA? What do you think about when we play SFA? Who are some of the players that come to mind, or does the team treat SFA any differently in any way, or are they aware of kind of where we are in the standings versus other teams?
Well, I'm not really familiar. The only player I'm familiar with is Abby, because just playing in the same region, like club, and so I'm really familiar with her. She played on the outside. I remember her. So yeah, I just know that they're a really consistent team, and like we're gonna have to play a really good match to beat them, and I know we can. We did in the conference tournament.
Yep.
We're just gonna. It's gonna be a really good match for this second. It's gonna be intense. So
it is.
Can't wait.
It is. Should be a great match tomorrow. Team's got to be confident going into the Southland Conference tournament this year. You know if you play your game, you're going to have a high seed. You know, either the 2 or the 3, or if Corpus drops, who knows? But team's got to have a strong focus and probably anticipating a deep run again this year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we really anticipate that deep run, even deeper. But yeah, we went pretty far last year, but we obviously weren't happy with where we ended up. So this year, I'm really excited. Really got to take it up a notch from last year. I know we can. So.
You come into this match against SFA second in the conference in kills per set. Do you think about? Are you a numbers person? Do you know those things, or does that go through your mind much?
I wasn't before this year, so I feel like I was just getting into it. New team. I'm normally not a numbers person. I try not to look at stats or the write-ups or anything, because I feel like why do I need to look at that? I know what I've done wrong. I know what I could do better. It just messes with my mind. Like I prefer not to. And sometimes I do, because a lot of my teammates in class sometimes will bring it up, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And they're like, you got blah blah blah. I was like, don't tell me, you know. But yeah, I try not to pay attention to it, because I don't need to keep that. That's not my focus. The focus is getting the team where it needs to go, and I know if I do that, everything will end up fine. So.
Well, as far as getting the team going where they got to go, they're headed to Conway, and we'll all meet up again in about 3 weeks. SFA and HBU tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bailey, thanks. Beautiful afternoon. Thanks for wanting to sit down and chat. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to chat with you.
Thanks.